Hello there, welcome back. It is I, Wizalix, and here we are to, play the Grace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we're still on this investigation about the murder of the professor, John H. Wilson. And it seems that we have now a lead to who's the actual culprits. Maybe, the students, Giselle Bretz. She maybe hid the gun in her handbag, and now we'll be here to discuss if she actually did it or not. Shall we start? I think we do. Order, order, order. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Professor Ouchi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to you bungling? Incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to explore the real woman behind the mask. You think so, Kazuma? Uh-oh. Well, what is our situation? Like, you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was necessary. Unnecessary in that what way? All to think the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. It's photographic prints. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. Is that a bull mark on his wrist? Why? As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's. I know why. We can't see it here. It's from the plate. Here. Because it's burning hot. Usually we use this kind of cast iron plate to serve steak really hot. But he actually have a burn mark. Here. Oh, weird. Why? We'll see later. As you can see, it clearly shows mixed bread handbags. Well, I never can see right through the what's inside. Oh, that's why. That's right. Apparently, mesh walk bags like this are the height of fashion in London at the moment. The contents are clearly visible. Exactly. There was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Uh-oh. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. You saw it too? No. The holy mask? Thank you for helping to prove that, Naroda-san. You're welcome, Order, please. Inspector Osunaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Of course, certainly, Your Excellency. Photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence that the photographic prints just submitted in the court. Into the courts. Wait, there's a problem. So many problems with this picture. And also with this burn mark. Or the right direction, everything. The photographic print just submitted in the court record have no further significance. I'm satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. There's only one logical conclusion. The pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in the worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? Oh no. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. You mean, this is it? Game over. I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. The weak are meat. Weak are meat? While the strong eat. Oh, I see. You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. The fact you can chew onto your heart's content from the side of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? In Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Well, I could do something about it. Like, I don't know. This, magnifying glass. Can't do anything more. Ooh. Hey, what's that? A scratch, maybe? Nothing important. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the rolling. Seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little Ryunosuke Naruto, having considered all the evidence placed before me. Oh, that's right. Wait, Your Excellency? Ryunosuke, we found it too. I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. It is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Hey, that's new. I like that. Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. That the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance. There is no longer any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time will be out of the question. His blood throat clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag that Jaloon was carrying on the day in question. There can't be no problem with this evidence. Better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, Consul. Apparently the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. I thought exactly. But the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheeze. It would have been more realistic actually to have only a part of the burn mark. Yes, I'm the desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Do it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, trial will be over with immediate effect. Like that. Did I make myself clear? Hit me with this hammer. Yes, Your Excellency. So take another look at the photographic prints Inspector Osunaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in these prints we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Well, it's clearly here. Look at this here. but a very unusual mark at the victim's wrist. It is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description. Dear me, I was wondering what new people you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist. Lady that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady hand's bag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, but he didn't note it in his reports. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? Any possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. Unless the prosecutor Auchi points out, unless the film connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excellency, you will see Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Rinosuke? You believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. If I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. But I think I should keep digging and digging. I hope that I might uncover something useful. When did this burn mark happen? He writes. If we can just link that burn to the case, we can do that. We might be able to prise the shutting door back open again. Just give up, Consul. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is a little more than conjecture. If we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. Really, as soon as you pointed it out, what I didn't notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? To find some link between the burn and the case. Come on, breathe. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves that what that burn really means. Then the defense will now present its evidence to the courts. Evidence that demonstrates an external connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Oh, yeah, wrong button to present. This one. What's this, Consul? Yet another print. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in the photograph, I remember this one. Things we may have overlooked at the time I recorded forevermore. You hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? The inconvenience this poor lady and her father really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. Oh. Well, obviously. I said it, big brain. You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. You recall exactly what you mean. Here. What in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Beef steak. Actually, the point is the metal plate. The steak was served on. Not sure it's actually cast iron. Plate. Oh, you're right. Hey, as you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. We'll guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. This emblem on the plate and this burn mark. Burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you genius. Now we need to uncover why is it here. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurants. Even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It had been the day before or the day before that. It's most likely happened at some other related time. Sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury will have caused quite a commotion in the restaurants. Would you agree, Inspector Osanaga? I can imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. Aha! I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as defense just pointed out. It was no mere burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. The plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade. A burn like that will have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable. The victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. We've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already. I've not heard anyone scream at all. The head waiter of La Carnival. I can testify to that without hesitation. Meaning that he was already dead when the burn happened. The detective, not the waiter. There you have it, something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds will scream in pain. There's no question of that, except if they're already dead. I heard the professor scream not on that day, or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What is suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Consul. Then the rest of us in the restaurants, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us will, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Auchi? I suppose. The question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryusuke, do you think? Can it really be true? Never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Was never shot. Well, he was, but was never killed by being shot. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day question, when he suffered the burn on his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man alive, except you have a certain disease, could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation, you have this side of disease where you nerves doesn't work very well, or if you're dead. It's only possible the man was already dead. Is it poison? Knowing what we know now, is the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. It's madness. We even know that she's studying pharmacology? I don't know. Something about maybe poison. Maybe. Okay. Don't tell explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot, no? That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. The prosecutor, Aoichi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered the burn while at the restaurant, his whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate that twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagements. Your Excellency. When will she? You'll see. The justice system in your country may be in its infancy. Rest assured, all reasonable doubts must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially, it helps relations between my country and yours. Yeah, obviously. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese. Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. Then why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentleman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Not cool. But it seems the man in this land possessed none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. You are the epitome of a true English gentleman. We're very honored by this. This lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I want to ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Nosuke. Let's see. We can find another lie here. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, Ross and I raised our glass in the toast. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshots. There's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Please do show me. Of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Not cool. The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all. It is a delight to hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from testimony that this boorish talk, the victim's burn, is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harsh punishment possible. Amen. Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I accept you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. No. I don't need to remind you, Consul, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. You failed to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony. I will be rolling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Ouch! Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Okay, unfortunately I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. His hand was on the steering hard plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You had not have noticed. You think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry. But since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly under those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. I'll not have noticed, can you? Really? What fun. You hadn't realized. Your lady's absolutely right. Dear friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why did you tell me? Don Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over vulgar scream, and tiny brains imagine such a thing. I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyway. On the way they brought my steak, the professor and I raised a glass in the toast. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? The Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember, which explains why he ordered that drink, correct? Exactly as you say, sir. Although? Well, I don't know if the professor actually drank any of the water when they delivered the steak onto the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least for the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. It means the exact opposite. Anyway. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report should know the possible cause of death beside the gunshot. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us, as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only have been the bullet from a gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. It doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, he wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought from the kitchen, then he must have already have been dead at the point. And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot onto the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Auchi is right. There's some other way a man's life can be taken? Tell me. Without leaving a trace, what about poison? If someone is shot or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from heights, while a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as a police force, after all examine the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Is that right, Inspector Osunaga? I always aim for a flawless investigation. There will be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. Maybe there's some other ways of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If heaven forbid you doubt me again, young man, you're going to have to tell everybody how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perished he the fall, throwing such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I attack Fushi Aochi. Will get down any who dares cast such aspersions? A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. With some evidence to back us up here. Evidence? Professor, please. Come. Come, please. Come, please, and help us. Professor Mikotobe. Come. Right away. Oh, that's weird. Come to the courtroom, please. Not anyway. Yeah. What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police stored everything found at the crime scene following the examination. In this country, investigated once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incidents. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. What's that? Isn't it occur to naive detectives to try to persevere to the crime scene? I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand? You kill a blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. He's actually admitting a police may be flawed, as Prosecutor Auchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Something about what Miss Brett just said was a moment before, when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Rinosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. That will mean that to find a way, there must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Rinosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you mean? About Miss Bratz? Actually, no. About the person sitting next to her, Inspector Osunaga. Detective. He seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Bratz's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. It might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. You think so? But this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, Let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. Well, what Kazuma's thinking? I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press... yeah. Last statement. Inferior, what do you mean by that? You've seen once and that's the end of it, isn't that so? Yes, that is again. Detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? But till now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. Things are very different now. But his testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful. They're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let the guard down. You're right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time. Pursue the man on his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? Explain how to do it now, Rinosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? The moment we focus on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue with them by pressing space. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, the first I should move the marker across. Yeah, okay. Tutorial it is. Yo. Excuse me? What's the meaning of this? Well, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He was lost in his thoughts. Well, looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you don't find fault with his testimony, then cross-examination should be over immediately. Is that how it works? Absolutely not. Detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Come on, you do it before, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Beto Sonaga, do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Tell us, please. Yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right, our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Sotaru Osunaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A bit? Crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there. Take this for example. Uh-oh. Is the bottle of carbonated water that I took on the victim's table on the day in question? And yes, it's lots, all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. It was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone else says. Some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day, police force will be amongst the best in the world. This time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say condemn the witness's action, but I do understand the sentiments. Colwell said the glass bowl of water as evidence. Miss Bratz. Can you confirm this is indeed the bowl from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bowl. What was that about? She seems to have had her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. The inspector will kindly control his ever. Well, it seems that now we have the weapon used for the crime. Well, little do you know, I think it's right here. Oh. Let's examine it. Don't find anything out of place. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. You know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. It must be very expensive water. What's the meaning of this? Why? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You just say that you don't know. Gibberish. So this carbonated water is the last drink that Always never had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. No, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely bare. Hodge, just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Rinosuke, don't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. You're right, we don't know what might be inside, do we? Never cease to amaze me, Rinosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? It gone quiet all of a sudden. I might have just walked something out. An interesting possibility. Just to be sure I did this. Now we can present it. I knew we needed to do this. The bottle of water. Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from his bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that Professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? And on that day, who was sitting on the same table as the Professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you. It's outrageous to suggest such a thing without the scrap of evidence. You're a rookie imbecile. You even consider the delicate situation delicate the country finds itself in now. You've forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire. Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? It's not a political arena. The trial to determine one's individual guilt. With respect to one crime, the fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth. If I may, we will silence you forever for this. Oh. If it is you, we should be silent. Thank you. Of course. Dear lady. Ah, where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I describe your police force as inferior, no matter how inferior they may be. You still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The ball, I mean, right, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? Flawlessly. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What do you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. I could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of Cabernet water, Your Excellency. Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. I'm sure it's not something that you don't know. We tried to at least find anything suspicious in the water. That's actually something that we don't really do, commonly. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in that horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, pleasure was all ours. Professor Mikotobe, please. Help us there. They can't be, right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. The prosecution never said it. A shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. For proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Kazuma? Officer Mikotobe, please. Inosuke, I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, or you must be leaving. Please, Professor, help us! Well, it's not a professor, but well. We don't know her name. Please wait. Isn't that? What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotobe. Oh. His daughter. Judicial assistant to the defense. Mikotobe. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, appeared like a ball of lightning, and in her hand she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Well, you know what I mean if we see you to be continued. As always, thank you for watching. We see each other next time to know finally the resolution of this case. Too bad for you, it'd be not today. Actually, if it actually continued, well, I will have make a video of 1 hour or more. But, well, felt like we needed to stop it. When we finished the case, when we finished the whole trial. But it's the game who told us to stop here, unfortunately. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you had a great time. For us, we'll be leaving. We'll see each other in 3 days, I think. I hope that you have a good day or a good night or whatever. And see you next time. What a cliffhanger! What the hell? Ooh, poison! Little did you know, you maybe made it. Huh? It is actually quite uncommon for, well, forensic to actually do a test where you try to determine if there's any kind of strange things in water. Usually you test if there is something, but not if there is anything weird. Well, usually. Mods mods. Well, see you.